So it's time to transplant and get everything into the aeroponics. And for the rest of the setup, which we'll get to, is that you also need rock wool, air stones, air pump, and little baskets. So essentially the roots are going to come through the basket and into the water. Okay, so this is kind of one of the units in process. So we've torn up the rock wool, thrown a little bit in the bottom, and then throw in some of the lava rock, and then more rock wool, the plants, and then lava rock. Right. So it's kind of a stage 1 through 4. Okay, so this is the basic setup. We put the holes in the lid. We put the containers or baskets with holes into there, and then we threw in the rock wool, the plants, the lava rock. We kind of layered it a little bit, and then we soaked all of it and let the water drop in. And then we filled up the bucket. We've got the air stones going. So essentially the benefit of this is that the air stones will continue to oxygenate and circulate the water, and as the roots grow into the water, because it's consistently moving, you won't ever get any root rot. So the oxygen makes it grow like crazy. I don't know if you can see down in there. Oh, there we go. There's 2 air stones in there. So before we did it with 1 air stone and 1 plant, and it was just crazy. So we did 2 air stones and quite a few more plants just to see kind of what the difference is going to be. Here's hoping it works as wonderfully as it did before. And then pretty much just fill up the container once a week, once every 2 weeks, depending on how much water is either evaporating or being taken up by the plants. So we've got a couple more to do, and we will be back. Yes, I planted way too much kale. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do with that, but we will be back with the finished product and see how that looks. So step 1 is you measure your baskets onto the lid. You can see all these have been pre-drawn and they match the basket. Now we're going to cut the holes. So we've done the holes for these other 2 buckets, and just a point of note, it's always a very, very good idea to make sure that your air pump is higher than your water level, so that way nothing will ever back into your air pump. And we've got the holes. Hi, Mr. Nosy. We've got the hole for the air coming in here, 1 in here, our second air pump, right? So 1 air pump is doing kind of 1 stone each on this bucket, and then on this bucket it's going to be 2 air stone pumps. So there's 2 pumps and 6 air stones, and each pump is doing 3. And then that lattice is going to hold all the vines and all the flowers. Or at least that's kind of the goal. We'll see how it works out. We've had some, like for example, the peas have taken off here, but in other areas like that one, they're really tiny. They're just sprouting. The sweet peas are about the same. I've got a couple of kales left over, those guys right there. But it should be interesting. We'll see how it goes. We've already put in fertilizer into this one, and I'll show you the parts and stuff. Like when we did it originally, we used Miracle Grow, and that worked really well. But this is actually like a 3-part quick grow system, and it's very easy to take care of and maintain that way as well. So we'll get into that. We'll get these other 2 planted, and we'll show you the end results. Hi, puppy. You excited for your peas and tomatoes to grow? Yeah? Yay, peas and tomatoes. He checks it every single day to make sure there's nothing there he can eat. So we got the second one filled with water. We're just going to have a lattice up in behind it. But we got 1 of the stones going now just to start circulation. On to the next step. Okay, so here we go. We got all the aeroponics set up. We even have a few left over that hadn't popped out of the dirt yet, and then we ended up potting some just to see how it works out. Over here we have sweet peas, so those are flowers. Then we have tomatoes, 3 things of edible snap peas, 4 super fluffy kale, and those are the ones that didn't quite bud yet. We'll see what happens there. These ones are sweet peas, and these ones are tomatoes. And over here we threw 3 pots of kale just to see the difference of just a regular dirt versus aeroponics. And these 3 are lavender. So we shall monitor and check that out as things start growing. All right, thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.